Barkley was on College Game Day this morning, and I believe he picked you guys to beat Air Force because he said that you were his favorite coach in the country. Have you met Chuck before? Or
oh yeah.
What was it like hearing that?
Oh, he's a fantastic guy. One time when I was broadcasting, I went to, we were broadcasting from the national championship, and I didn't know that he really followed football that much, but he's an Auburn fan, so there was kind of a party for the Auburn group before the game that Charles put on, and Charles hoisted me up like a Raggedy Ann doll and carried me around the room and said, yeah. So anyway, and he's a pretty strong guy and could definitely play about 5 positions for us if he ever wants to check out football and come play for us. But no, fantastic guy, and I'm really honored he's a fan, and I've had the opportunity to talk to him on the phone sometimes. So
where would you put him on the field? On defense, offense?
Well, I would probably, honestly, as good of a D end as he would be, it would be awfully tempting to put him at tight end and just throwing the ball. Yeah, throwing the ball in the paint there and just let him go.
You said he just picked you up and kind of carried you.
Oh, just, it does a lap around the deal. It was, I didn't even know he knew who I was, so that was pretty cool.
You talked yesterday about how you're going to split up the quarterback reps. Is it Gunner, Cameron, and Bledsoe mainly getting those reps, and are they all three of those guys getting even reps, or is it more Cam and Gunner?
It's been relatively even. A few more to Cam and Gunner. It's been relatively even.
Where have you seen the biggest progress between, especially Gunner and Cam, since the spring?
I think just a little more awareness and stuff. I think they both have to come a ways. I think, that position we've got to improve quite a lot.
Getting to Air Force, obviously they run an unconventional style of offense. What is it that you like maybe about the style that they run? Do you like that offense? Are you surprised that there aren't more teams in the country that run that style?
I've always liked that offense. Nobody has ever consistently stopped. People have gotten tired of wishbone and triple option concepts, but nobody's ever really stopped them. And when we started designing the air raid, we drew a lot from that, distribution of the ball to all the positions, and then also attacking the space. And I think they do a really good job of that. And I've always liked that offense.
Well, with nobody really ever stopping them, are you surprised that there aren't more offenses in the country that kind of model after that?
It's always been curious to me because I always thought Georgia Tech did a really good job of it, I'm a little surprised at that, I guess.
Is an offense like that just as capable of springing a bunch of explosive plays as more of a passing offense, or do you think they tend to get their yards in smaller chunks, or do you think they have that potential?
Not necessarily. They, I think the only negative that I can see is, and they do, if they get behind, it's tough to just drop back and throw it if they absolutely have to. But no, you can definitely get explosives with it, and they always have. Teams will get explosives with it, and they're better at attacking. They're better at attacking downfield, I think, than they get credit for, because between the dive and then the quarterback attacking the perimeter, some of those pitches take place downfield a ways, and then once the pitch goes, then then that guy gets out. I mean, it's tough.
They're also pretty stout defensively. What allows them to have success on that side of the football?
They do it good. They do their job. They execute, do their job.
What do you remember about recruiting Maake Fafita? I don't know if I said his first name right, but obviously his brother plays there at Air Force as a senior, and it'll be kind of the Fafita Bowl down there in Phoenix.
Yeah, just a really good player that we were really excited to have on board, and I think he's going to have a great future here. And it's ironic that his brother plays there, but it doesn't surprise me.
Was he pretty under the radar?
A little, in my opinion. A little bit, in my opinion, but we did really think that he was a key guy in our class.
I know we've asked you about him throughout the year, but Brandon Arconato, what has he meant to the offense this season?
Really consistent. He's incredibly coachable, and he's a pure example of if you're a real coachable guy, and you're at the right place, and you're at the right place at the right time, you can be incredibly successful. I mean, he's open all the time, and then executes once the ball comes his way.
Being at the right place at the right time, is that a matter of just knowing the offense, or is that just something that maybe he has a feel for?
A little of both, but the biggest thing is anything you tell him route-wise or release-wise, he executes it. He really does a good job of always developing, what he's coached to do, and then, it's really elevated his game throughout his career, especially when you consider, how small he came here and everything, and he's developed here. He's, a lot of guys, are kind of built like him when they get here, and it took him 2.5 years or so to get to that point, just growing and stuff. But no, he's really a good player.
What does that say about his character, just to be able to grow through the program like he has, starting as a walk-on and now kind of being a go-to receiver?
Well, I think all that work ethic and stuff is what made him the player he was to begin with. It made us want him to begin with. And so we recruited him as a walk-on, and then as he got here, he continued to improve.
It's a pretty exclusive group of guys who get to be academic All-Americans, and obviously he was named that last week, and I believe he told us he's the second person in his family to even go to college. How impressive is that to be able to kind of rise up and become one of those few? I think there's only two in the Pac-12, him and Herbert, that were first-team academic All-American.
Well, I think it's really impressive. An academic All-American, that's, you can argue that's as high a distinction as you can get, because you got to do it both on the field and in the classroom, and to distinguish yourself that high is tough to do, and almost nobody can do it.